Well, the USMNT has lost to Turkey 2-1 in the first of two friendlies leading up to the 2025 Gold Cup. Now, this roster is very, very heavily MLS based. A lot of our guys, as you know, decided to skip or had other obligations, making them unavailable for this tournament. And we were going to be able to see what some of these hungry, maybe some of these unknown Major League Soccer players would be able to do for the USMNT, and if they would be able to capitalize and capture the eye of Mauricio Pochettino. And things looked pretty good in the first 20 minutes. 56 seconds in, Jack McGlynn scores a goal. And I thought to myself, wow, this team, I don't want to say is reminiscent of past USMNT teams when there was maybe less talent, but more heart. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're less than 200 subscribers away from 7,000, and our goal is to hit 7K by the Club World Cup. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Now, back to the video. But you could just see that there was a little bit of grit. There was a little bit of motivation, that they were really chasing and they were really hungry to compete in this game against a very good Turkey team or Turkey A team. That this could be something we haven't seen in a while. And the first 20 minutes looked really good, sharp. We were passing the ball smoothly, creating chances, looked confident with the ball. You know, you really wouldn't even be able to tell that a lot of these guys were in MLS. Like, they were playing very, very good team ball. And then Johnny Cardoso makes the biggest mistake of the match with his own goal, with the bad pass. And it felt like when that happened, the wheels were just starting to fall off. I mean, that was just a terrible giveaway by Johnny Cardoso. Johnny Cardoso is a guy who is really good for club ball, really good for Real Betis. But when he plays for the USMNT, when he puts on the red, white, and blue, he's just a completely different player. He just never performs as well for the USMNT as he does for club. And that's a big issue with a lot of USMNT players, which we'll get into. But he really, that giveaway, that own goal was really the beginning of the end for this team. And then not even 3 minutes later, they scored again. They scored again. And then I thought to myself, oh no, this is going to get ugly. This is going to get ugly. The USMNT look like they really maybe might be able to compete with Turkey or Turkey, or however you pronounce it. I'm going to call it Turkey for the rest of the video. But either way, they look like they might be able to compete with Turkey for the rest of the game. But after that 23rd minute goal, 2-1, wheels started to fall off. After that, they started playing more frantic. Turkey put their foot on our neck. They were attacking, going all out. We were had bad giveaways. The defense looked like their head was on a swivel, like they didn't even know. It was like pinball, bing, 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 like the passes. They didn't know what was going on. It was terrible. It was terrible in the second half, or the first half, the second part of the first half. We looked like a deer in headlights. We did not know how to react after getting punched in the mouth. We were comfortable when we had the 1-0 lead, and then that we faced any adversity, we didn't know. We looked like we didn't know what to do. We were sinking instead of swimming. And as far as the first half performances of who was bad and who was good, Johnny Cardoso was bad, really bad. I didn't think he was good at all in this game. I think Arfsen was very bad in this game at left back. I don't think he's good. I don't know why he's on this team. I'm not a big fan of his. Patrick Ajimong is also bad. Dude's got the heaviest touch I've ever seen in my life. He's a big, physical striker, very fast, has no technical ability at all. No technical ability at all. I think Charlotte FC, which is his club team, should get another striker because he's a weak link for them, a weak link for that team. You have to be able to score goals. He's not USMNT quality for this team. He has no business being on the bench, on the 26-man roster. If he is anywhere near the World Cup roster, we are in trouble because he's got to be like the 5th or 6th, maybe even 7th option striker, in my opinion. No hate to the man. I like him. I think he's a good dude. But he's not USMNT quality. He's not USMNT quality. And I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think had the worst first half in the USMNT Turkey game? Who had the worst first half? I think it's either between Ajimang, Arfsen, or Cardoso. And then Miles Robinson played next to Chris Richards. I thought he looked okay in the beginning, and then he started getting real shaky. He started getting really shaky. I thought he wasn't as good as he needed to be. He's not going to be a starter for this team. He shouldn't be a starter for this team. He really shouldn't be a starter for this team. Now, as far as guys who look good in the first half, I thought Diego Luna looked pretty good. I thought Jack McGlynn looked okay. Like he had the goal, and then he had some crazy shots. He was getting a little bit too goal hungry. He wasn't looking for the open man. I thought Luca De La Torre looked really good. Luca De La Torre looked really, really good in this game. Thought he had a solid first half and second half. We'll get the second half thoughts here in a minute, but I thought he looked really good. I was disappointed with Tillman, but we'll save him for the second half. There was Matt Freese was pretty good for the most part in this game. I thought there were some positives in this game. Now, as far as the second half goes, they took Luna out. They took Ajimong out eventually, and Ajimong played way too long, in my opinion. They took out Cardoso. They put in Tyler Adams. When Tyler Adams went into this game, it made a huge difference. It felt like there was more stability. Like you felt more of an assurance that things were going to be okay just because he was on the pitch, like a calmness, a sense of security. That's how I'd feel when Tyler Adams came on the pitch. And they got Miles Robinson out. They brought Mark McKenzie in, which I thought Mark McKenzie looked okay. I don't think he was too bad next to Chris Richards. That's like the duo we're hoping works for the World Cup in 2026, but I don't know for sure if it's going to. But that's what we're really hoping for. We're hoping that tandem can work. We need it to work. We can't have Tim Ream or Zimmerman or Miles Robinson starting at center back. We need our premier, most talented center backs being the guys taking the mantle and starting in 2026. And hopefully it starts on this run for the Gold Cup. But thought they played very well. I thought that Haji Wright, when he came in for Diego Luna, looked really good, looked dangerous on the wing. And I thought that the team played really well in the second half. We didn't concede any goals. We had some chances, but just not good enough. Just missing those pieces. And I do want to touch on Malik Tillman, because Malik Tillman just feels like he's cursed with this team. He had a golden opportunity to score a goal off a header, and he just hit it right into the goalkeeper's hands. And I just feel like Malik Tillman for PSV, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, Malik Tillman for PSV is not Malik Tillman for the USMNT. Another example of a player not performing as well for the national team as they do for their club, and it's detrimental to the team. I think Diego Luna has had more of an impact for the USMNT than Malik Tillman has had, in my opinion. I don't think it's close. Now, Malik Tillman is probably a more talented player. He's the Eredivisie Player of the Year, but he just doesn't translate when it comes to the national team, which is a big deal. You have to be able to perform for the national team. He doesn't do it. Okay? So I still don't know how to feel about him. Just a lot of people I don't know how to feel about head after this game. Now, there's going to be another game against Switzerland. We'll see how that goes. But I still feel like there's more questions than answers after this match. Now, there's a couple answers about some of these guys that we've already known about, like Arvston and Ajimong. Most people already didn't like them. And I mean, I can't disagree. I thought they're underwhelming players, but that's not something new. That's nothing new that we already didn't know. Now, as far as Turkey, because we got to talk about them a little bit. Turkey is a very good team. A very good team. They would be the best team in CONCACAF. They would be. They'd be the best team in CONCACAF. This will be the best, hardest team we will have played all summer long. It doesn't matter how far we make it into the Gold Cup. This is a better team than Mexico. This is a better team than Canada. This is a better team than Costa Rica, Honduras, whoever it may be. This is a better team than all of those teams. This is the hardest team we will play all summer long. It's the first match we had leading into the summer. So when you take it into account like that, right? Not a bad performance, especially with who we had. Turkey has most of their players either playing for Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, or Besiktas. They're playing for the best clubs in the Turkish Super League. Nothing to be ashamed of. Now, look, obviously we're wanting to be better and try to compete because we're going to be playing harder teams in the World Cup in 2026 than Turkey. But considering with who we had, who we were playing, not a terrible performance. Not not what we wanted, but not terrible. You have to look at the context of what's going on and who we're playing. Now, there's some things we got to figure out. We got to get the striker situation figured out because if we can't score, we can't win. And we're gonna need Ballo, we're gonna need Pepe, Haji Wright if he's the third option striker. Josh Sargent, I've kind of written off at this point. Somebody has got to take the mantle and be the guy. And it's sad that Ballo wasn't at this game. I would have loved to see what he could do. Maybe the game would have been different today if Ballo was there. I would have loved to have seen what he would have been able to do with the USMNT versus Turkey. But we got what we got. We lost 2-1. And, I'm going to be curious to see how we bounce back against Switzerland. I'm going to be very curious to see how we bounce back against Switzerland in a couple days. But this was the hardest team we are going to play all summer long. It's better than Mexico, Canada, Switzerland, better than all those teams. And the USMNT, I think, is ranked around 15th or 16th in the world right now. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think we're worse than that, honestly. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I just believe that. I think Turkey's ranked at 30th. They're a better team than us. They're a better team than us. Our federation is very, very weak. Very weak. Might have the weakest federation in the world, honestly. I think that they're better than us. I think we're overrated. I think we're probably around 30th in the world. And things are going to have to change, but we will see. We will see if these guys who are playing in the camp right now are going to be able to compete, maybe push our better players, more talented players, push them to be better. We will see. But this is a very important camp leading into the Gold Cup. Not what we wanted, not the worst thing ever. Let me know in the comment section down below what's your takeaways from the USMNT 2-1 loss against Turkey. Were you surprised? Were you mad? Let me know down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.